Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar, and with me is Anita Anand with the Midday News. The headlines. President Draupadi Murmu to address the nation on the eve of 76th Independence Day this evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses joy at amazing response to the Har Ghar Tiranga movement, says this is a great way to mark Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. All India Radio to begin special program series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke saath from tomorrow to showcase country's journey since independence. 1,082 police personnel awarded police medals on occasion of Independence Day. Partition Horror Remembrance Day being observed today to commemorate the victims during partition of India in 1947. Veteran stock market investor Rakesh Jhunjhunwala passes away. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses grief. Himachal Pradesh Assembly passes bill against forced mass conversion. World's highest single arch railway bridge on Chenab in Jammu and Kashmir gets golden joint. And India's star shuttler PV Sindhu pulled out of World Badminton Championships due to stress fracture on left foot. And now the news in detail. President Draupadi Murmu will address the nation on the eve of the 76th Independence Day today. The address will be broadcast from 7 p.m. on the entire national network of All India Radio and telecast over all channels of Doordarshan in Hindi, followed by the English version. Broadcast of the address in Hindi and English on Doordarshan will be followed by broadcast in regional languages by regional channels of Doordarshan. AIR will broadcast the regional language versions at 9:30 p.m. on its regional network. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed joy at the amazing response to the Har Ghar Tiranga movement. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, record participation is being seen from people across different walks of life. He added, this is a great way to mark Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The Prime Minister also asked everyone to share their photos with the Tiranga on harghartiranga.com. Har Ghar Tiranga campaign, which started yesterday, received an overwhelming response all over the country. The campaign is aimed at motivating people to bring the Indian national flag home and hoist it to mark the 75 years of India's independence. The campaign has been initiated as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to run till August the 15th.
Today is the Partition Horror Remembrance Day. It commemorates the victims and sufferings of people during the partition of India in 1947. In a fitting tribute to all those who lost their lives due to the partition of the nation and were displaced from their roots, the government had last year decided to observe 14th of August every year as the day to commemorate their sacrifices. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had said that partition's pains can never be forgotten. Millions of our sisters and brothers were displaced and many lost their lives due to the mindless hate and violence. In memory of the struggles and sacrifices of our people, 14th of August will be observed as Partition's Horror Remembrance Day. To observe the day, BJP National President JP Nadda will participate in a silent march in New Delhi this evening. The silent march will begin from Jantar Mantar and conclude at Connaught Place's A Block. Home Minister Amit Shah today bowed to the lakhs of people who suffered the brunt of partition in 1947 on the occasion of Partition Horror Remembrance Day. In a series of tweets, Mr. Shah said partition of the country in 1947 is that inhuman chapter of Indian history which can never be forgotten. He said the violence and hatred of partition claimed millions of lives and displaced innumerable people. He added that this day will remind the young generation about the torture and pain suffered by people during the partition and will continue to inspire countrymen to maintain peace and harmony in the country.
A total of 1,082 police personnel have been awarded police medals on the occasion of the Independence Day 2022. 347 personnel were awarded Police Medal for Gallantry, 87 were awarded President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service, and 648 personnel were awarded Police Medal for Meritorious Service. 109 CRPF personnel and 108 Jammu and Kashmir police personnel have been awarded the Police Medal for Gallantry. 7 personnel have been awarded the President's Correctional Service Medal for Distinguished Service, and 38 personnel have been given the Correctional Service Medal for Meritorious Service. President's Medal for Gallantry and President's Medal for Distinguished Services, as well as Gallantry Medal and Meritorious Services medals, are awarded to the personnel of Fire Services, Civil Defence and Home Guards on Republic Day and Independence Day each year. On the occasion of the Independence Day, 55 personnel have been awarded Fire Service Medals. Out of this, Fire Service Medal for Gallantry has been awarded to 11 personnel for their acts of valour and gallantry. President's Fire Service Medal for Distinguished Service has been awarded to 6 personnel, and Fire Service Medal for Meritorious Service awarded to 38 personnel. In addition, 46 personnel have been awarded Home Guard and Civil Defence medals on the occasion of the Independence Day.
The nation will celebrate its 76th year of independence tomorrow. India is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, marking 75 years of independence. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had launched Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav from Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat in March last year. The celebrations will continue till 15th of August 2023. The Prime Minister will lead the nation in celebrating the Independence Day from the ramparts of the Red Fort in New Delhi tomorrow. He will hoist the national flag and deliver the customary address to the nation. Delhi Police has made elaborate security arrangements in the national capital in view of the 76th Independence Day. Special arrangements have been made in and around Red Fort, from where the Prime Minister will address the nation. Over 10,000 police personnel will be deployed in the national capital to ensure foolproof security arrangements. For the convenience of public and security reasons, certain traffic restrictions have been imposed around the Red Fort tomorrow. As many as 8 roads will be closed for general traffic from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. These include Netaji Subhash Marg from Delhi Gate to Chhatla Rail, Lotian Road from GPO Delhi to Chhatla Rail, SP Mukherjee Marg from HC Sen Marg to Yamuna Bazar Chowk, Chandni Chowk Road from Fountain Chowk to Red Fort, and Ring Road from Rajghat to ISPT. Only those vehicles with a valid pass issued by Delhi Police will be permitted. In its advisory, Delhi Police said that roads around Noida border, Loni, Singhu, Gazipur, Badarpur, Safia, Maharajpur, Ayanagar, Rajokuri, Kalandi Kunj and Tikri borders will be closed for the movement of commercial and transport vehicles from 10 p.m. today to 11 a.m. tomorrow. Delhi Metro Rail Corporation has also said that parking facilities will not be available at the metro stations from 6 a.m. today till 2 p.m. tomorrow in view of the security measures adopted on the occasion of Independence Day. It said the metro train services will, however, continue to run as per the normal schedule.
On the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Governor of Rajasthan Kalraj Mishra has approved the government's proposal to grant special amnesty to 51 good behaviour prisoners serving sentences in state jails. The governor has approved the proposal of the state government to grant special amnesty to certain categories of prisoners and release them in 3 phases from 15th August 2022 to 15th August 2023. Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for the 1.3 billion citizens across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with a unique initiative titled Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani Ke Saath. Starting 15th of this month, the 90-second series will be broadcast on 100.1 FM Gold channel, primetime news bulletins, and across all its platforms, including social media. It will showcase the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio, the voice of nation. AIR will be looking back at the historic journey from the birth of a nation to the emerging superpower, that is modern India, with snippets from its repertoire. These include the voices of legends like Mahatma Gandhi, Homi Jahangir Bhabha, Sir C.V. Raman, Dr. Kurian Varghese, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, Melvin de Mello, Jasdev Singh, to name a few. Every day, one special story will be broadcast and uploaded on AIR social media handles on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. It can be accessed on @Akashvani AIR and @AIR News Alerts on Twitter, News on AIR official YouTube channel, newsonair.gov.in, News on AIR app, Facebook, and Instagram. Since its inception on the 8th of June 1936, All India Radio has been a witness to the history of the country, including the first Independence Day way back in 1947 to the liberation of Bangladesh to India making history at World Cup cricket. All India Radio is one of the largest broadcasting organizations in the world, broadcasting in 23 languages and 179 dialects from 479 stations across the country. It reaches nearly 92% of the area and 99.19% of the total population. Its motto is Bahujan Hitai, Bahujan Sukhai, which means for the happiness of many, for the welfare of many. Listeners can relive the glorious moments that passes by and follow AIR on its social media handles. Azad Bharat Ki Baat, Akashvani ke saath, reliving the journey of India since independence over the last 75 years with All India Radio. Starting 15th August, the series will be broadcast on All India Radio, 100.1 FM Gold Channel, primetime news bulletins, and across all its platforms. Tune in to stay updated with All India Radio. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh has said that the government has created a foolproof security apparatus to ensure that no anti-India element can cast an evil eye on the sovereignty, unity and integrity of the country. He asserted that the government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, accords top priority to the safety and security of the people of India. He also assured the nation that a befitting reply would be given to anyone who tries to disturb peace and harmony in the country.
बहुत सारे लोग ये गलतफहमी पैदा करने की कोशिश करते हैं, कहते हैं कि चीन ने यह कर दिया वह कर दिया। भारत के सीमाओं की रक्षा कैसे होती है शायद ये लोगों का अनुमान नहीं है। मैं ऐसी राजनीतिक पार्टी के नेताओं से कहना चाहता हूँ, जहाँ देश के मान सम्मान स्वाभिमान का प्रश्न हो वहाँ पर राजनीति नहीं की जानी चाहिए। कोई नेता जाकर सीमाओं पर वहाँ की सीमा की रक्षा नहीं करते। इन्हीं माताओं की कोख से पैदा हुए लाल सीमाओं पर जाकर सीमाओं की रक्षा करते हैं।
The Raksha Mantri said the armed forces are being equipped with the latest weapons and they are ready to deal with all the future threats and safeguard national interests. He unveiled the statue of renowned Marwari warrior Veer Durgadas Rathod in Jodhpur, Rajasthan yesterday. Mr. Singh listed some of the reforms, including earmarking 68% of the capital procurement budget for the domestic industry in 2022-23 and allocating 25% of the domestic capital procurement budget for private industry.
You're listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. President Draupadi Murmu to address the nation on the eve of 76th Independence Day this evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses joy at amazing response to the Har Ghar Tiranga movement, says this is a great way to mark Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. All India Radio to begin special program series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke saath from tomorrow to showcase country's journey since independence. 1,082 police personnel awarded police medals on occasion of Independence Day. Partition Horror Remembrance Day being observed today to commemorate the victims during partition of India in 1947. Veteran stock market investor Rakesh Jhunjhunwala passes away. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses grief. Himachal Pradesh Assembly passes bill against forced mass conversions. World's highest single-arch railway bridge in Nav in Jammu and Kashmir gets golden joint. And India's star shuttler PV Sindhu pulled out of World Badminton Championships due to stress fracture on left foot. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
मुट्ठी भर अंग्रेज और हमारे विशाल देश पर राज करने का स्वप्न देख रहे हैं, पर हम इनके स्वप्न को चकनाचूर कर देंगे।
निकल पड़े स्वाधीन स्वाधीनता के मधुभाले, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की सुनी अनसुनी कहानियों के साथ स्वराज हर रविवार रात 9 बजे डीडी नेशनल पर।
Welcome back to the Midday News on All India Radio. The Himachal Pradesh Assembly has passed the Himachal Pradesh Freedom of Religion Amendment Bill 2022 forbidding mass conversion. The bill was passed with a voice vote even though the opposition members demanded the government to refer the bill to a select committee. The bill inserts the reference to mass conversion, which is described as two or more people converting at the same time. It proposes to increase the punishment for forced conversions to a maximum of 10 years from 7 years. Chief Minister Jairam Thakur tabled the bill on Friday in the Vidhan Sabha. He said the bill has been brought to curb mass conversion. He gave examples of mass conversion in Roru, Rampur and Banjar in Himachal Pradesh. In Jammu and Kashmir, the world's highest rail bridge over the Chenab River in the Kauri area of Riyasi district achieved another milestone yesterday when the overarch deck of the bridge was completed with a golden joint. The golden joint shall now pave the way for engineers to lay tracks on the bridge. With tracks over it, Kashmir will be linked with the rest of India via rail network for the first time since independence. An elated Surinder Mahi, Chief Administrative Officer of the USBRL Konkan Railways said, engineers faced several challenges but at last gifted engineering marvel to the people of India.
As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with the listeners tomorrow in the morning bulletin. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News. And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember freedom fighter N.M.R. Subbaraman, who was born on the 14th of August 1905 at Madurai in Tamil Nadu. He was popularly known as Madurai Gandhi.
An ardent follower of Gandhiji, Subbaraman refused to go to London for higher studies and joined the freedom struggle in 1922. In 1923, he became a primary member of the Madurai District Congress Committee and was elected the president in 1925. He was instrumental in selecting 27 youth from Madurai to participate in the Vedaranyam Salt March in 1930. Subbaraman was elected chairman of Madurai municipality from 1935 to 1942. He also held positions as a member of the Madras Legislative Assembly before and after independence.
Subbaraman was deeply committed to the cause of the emancipation of the depressed classes. Through Tamil Nadu Harijan Sevak Sangh, Subbaraman was instrumental in establishing a chain of hostels. Subbaraman also got deeply involved in the Bhudan movement and donated 100 acres of land.
Subbaraman was the secretary of the Gandhi Works Publications Committee, which brought out Gandhiji's works in Tamil in 17 volumes and many other unique publications. He was instrumental in the introduction of a course on Gandhian thought for the first time in the country and establishing the first Gandhi Museum in the country at Madurai. N.M.R. Subbaraman breathed his last on 25th January 1983. AIR News salutes the great Gandhian freedom fighter.
We also remember freedom fighter Godavari Parulekar, who was born on the 14th of August 1907. She was active in the student movement against British rule. She was convicted by the British regime in 1932 for taking part in Satyagraha.
Godavari was the first woman law graduate in Maharashtra. After completing her jail term in 1932, Godavari took up social service in the Servants of India Society in Mumbai.
She joined the All India Kisan Sabha of the Communist Party of India and founded its Maharashtra branch, the Maharashtra Rajya Kisan Sabha. She was imprisoned many times by the British for her work.
Godavari led the armed struggle for the liberation of Dadra and Nagar Haveli from the Portuguese rule.
She also devoted her life to the struggle of the Varli community and documented the movement in her book, Jeva Manus Zaga Hoto. She founded the Adivasi Pragati Mandal in 1961.
Godavari Parulekar continued to work for the betterment of people till the end. AIR News salutes the brave daughter of India.
We also remember revolutionary freedom fighter Harnam Singh, alias Ishar Das, who was executed by the British on the 14th of August 1914.
A resident of Sahari, Hoshiarpur, Punjab, Harnam Singh initially joined the British military but resigned from service and left for Canada. He took up the work of promoting national consciousness among Indians in Canada and brought out an English newspaper called Hindustan. The government of Canada disapproved of his political activities and issued a deportation order, but later he was allowed to return.
Harnam Singh identified himself with the aims and objectives of Ghadarites and frequently contributed articles to the Ghadar paper when it was brought out in 1913. He took active part in revolutionary activities and was convicted in the first Burma conspiracy case by the British. He was tried and sentenced to death and hanged on the 14th of August 1914. AIR News salutes the brave son of India.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
अब हर घर की छत पर शान से फहरेगा तिरंगा, गुनगुनाए जाएंगे नव विकास के गीत, आन बान शान का प्रतीक राष्ट्रध्वज तिरंगा। आइए आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर इस स्वाधीनता दिवस हर घर फहराते हैं तिरंगा और लेते हैं भव्य और सशक्त भारत के निर्माण का संकल्प।
आइए हर घर फहराएं तिरंगा।
India has added 11 more wetlands to the list of Ramsar sites to make total 75 Ramsar sites covering an area of 13,26,677 hectares in the country in the 75th year of independence. The Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change said the 11 new sites include 4 in Tamil Nadu, 3 in Odisha, 2 in Jammu and Kashmir and 1 each in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. The designation of these sites would help in conservation and management of wetlands and wise use of their resources.
Over 14,000 new COVID-19 cases were recorded in the last 24 hours. India's active caseload currently stands at 1,16,861. Active cases stand at 0.26%. Daily positivity rate is at 3.69% and weekly positivity rate is at 4.57%. Over 88 crore 2 lakh tests have been conducted so far. Over 3,81,000 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. Veteran stock market investor Rakesh Jhunjhunwala passed away in Mumbai this morning. He was 62. Akasa Air, India's newest budget carrier, was one of the business ventures of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. The airline began commercial operations this month with a maiden flight from Mumbai to Ahmedabad. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed sadness on the passing away of business magnate, stock trader and investor Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala was indomitable. The Prime Minister said, full of life, witty and insightful, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala leaves behind an indelible contribution to the financial world.
Renowned author Salman Rushdie has been taken off the ventilator. Rushdie's agent Andrew Wiley confirmed that Rushdie was taken off the ventilator and was able to talk. He, however, may lose an eye after he was stabbed by 24-year-old Hadi Matar. Rushdie was stabbed in the neck at a literary event in western New York on Friday. Rushdie was put on a ventilator after hours of surgery and the nerves in his arms were severed. The attack on Rushdie comes more than 30 years after Iranian leader Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini issued a fatwa or edict calling for Rushdie's death over his book, The Satanic Verses. The book has been banned in Iran since 1988 as many Muslims consider it to be blasphemous.
In Israel, at least 7 people have been injured as a result of the shooting in 2 areas of Jerusalem this morning. A gunman opened fire at a bus stop, injuring 7 people, including a pregnant woman. Israel's emergency medical service called the incident a terror attack. In a tweet, the Prime Minister of Israel, Yair Lapid, thanked the security forces for their intensive and swift action that led to the terrorist turning himself in. Israeli security forces are on elevated alert for copycat attacks.
India's star shuttler PV Sindhu has pulled out of the upcoming BWF World Championships owing to a stress fracture on her left foot. In a statement, Sindhu confirmed that she will be missing the 2022 World Championships. The World Championships will be held in Tokyo from the 21st to 28th of August. Sindhu has won the gold medal in the women's singles event at the recently concluded Commonwealth Games and revealed that she had been playing through pain at Birmingham.
Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for the day. National capital Delhi is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light to moderate rain and thunder showers. Minimum temperature recorded was 27 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 36 degrees. Mumbai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 32 degrees. Chennai will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature was 28 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 37. Kolkata is expected to have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 33 degrees. Srinagar is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Jammu will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 34 degrees. Leh, Kargil and Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature in these places will vary between 13 and 37 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature was 24 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 37 degrees. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. President Draupadi Murmu to address the nation on the eve of 76th Independence Day this evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses joy at amazing response to Har Ghar Tiranga movement, says this is a great way to mark Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. All India Radio to begin special program series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke saath from tomorrow to showcase country's journey since independence. 1,082 police personnel awarded police medals on occasion of Independence Day. Partition Horror Remembrance Day being observed today to commemorate the victims during Partition of India in 1947. Veteran stock market investor Rakesh Jhunjhunwala passes away. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses grief. Himachal Pradesh Assembly passes bill against forced mass conversion. World's highest single arch railway bridge on Chenab in Jammu and Kashmir gets golden joint. And India's star shuttler PV Sindhu pulled out of World Badminton Championship due to stress fracture on left foot. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the Midday News.